The Elder Scrolls Legends is a game rife with keywords, and by that I mean there are 9 of them. These keywords belong to or may be applied to creature cards, and there's one keyword specific to items, and they grant the cards thereon some sort of effect. Going alphabetically, Breakthrough is the first keyword on our list. This keyword grants creatures with it the ability to deal excess damage to their opponent's face if you've dealt enough damage to a creature to kill it. For an example, let's say you're using the Hive Warrior. Hive Warrior against a Tree Minder. Hive Warrior has 6 power, and Tree Minder has 1 health. If the Hive Warrior attacks the Tree Minder, it would kill it, and the remaining 5 attack power that wasn't necessary in killing the Tree Minder would be thrown straight at your opponent instead. It's important to note that this feature is only available when you, the one with the breakthrough creature, are the one who initiated the attack. If you're defending against an attack, breakthrough does nothing. This keyword is almost purely used in aggressive style decks. Due to the rune system in the game, breakthrough can sometimes actually be a hindrance, since maybe at certain points you only want to kill a creature and not deal the excess damage for fear of granting your opponent an extra card. In this sense, breakthrough can make or break you. Effects that synergize well with Breakthrough are Battle and Pilfer, which will be explained in a separate video on the channel, and some noteworthy cards bearing the keyword are Young Mammoth, Ancano, and the Belligerent Giant. Charge is our second keyword on the list, and it's much more straightforward to explain than Breakthrough. So normally when creatures are played in Legends, they have to wait until your opponent's next turn is over before they can attack. Charge ignores this and allows creatures to attack on their first turn played. This is a very powerful effect, most commonly effective in aggro decks similar to Breakthrough, but Charge, I would say, is overall a more powerful effect since instantly being able to attack has 0 negatives whatsoever and can be useful in many more scenarios than Breakthrough. Importantly to note, however, is that Charge is a one-time use keyword, whereas every other keyword is something that may be used multiple times. Well, most every keyword. If you run cards that can bump creatures back into your hand, though, like Close Call, and you play your Charge creature again, they will gain Charge for that next turn that they're played on. Some really great examples of Charge cards are Cliff Racer, Razumdar, and Bandari Opportunist. Charge cards are also almost all exclusively found in Agility and Strength, so make sure to utilize them in your Archer-themed decks. Coming up next is Drain, which is a keyword that grants lifesteal. Essentially, any damage you deal with a creature who has Drain on your turn will return that damage to you as health, or life. Drain is excellent for sustaining player survivability, and in matches, it can make the difference between winning or losing. It's important to know your matchups, however, because while having 100 health does sound nice, sometimes it's actually an incorrect move to accumulate so much life gain, especially early in a match, since your opponent may be running a Pilfer deck that will thrive off of being able to hit your face with 0 repercussions from runes breaking. However, Drain is still very strong, and there are plenty of cards that do synergize with having a health advantage. Ebonheart Oracles and Undying Dragons are great combos that stick out, and with cards like the Ring of Namira, you can certainly turn Drain into an offensive keyword with the right deck. Drain also works really well with Pilfer decks, since there are many cards that synergize off of the 2 effects in tandem. The only instance that I can think of where a Drain creature will not gain health off of hitting another creature is if that creature is equipped with Ward, which is another keyword we'll get to later. So after Drain we come to Guard, which is a great defensive keyword. Whereas Drain was good at sustaining life and gaining back lost health, Guard excels at ensuring that you won't take damage at all. A creature with this keyword blocks a lane and forces creatures in said lane to hit it before hitting you directly. Guards are found in all attributes, but they have the most synergies with other guards or defense-related cards in Willpower and Endurance decks. Guards to keep an eye out for include Piercing Twilights, Hive Defenders, and of course, Lydia. A good combo keyword with any guard is Ward. because it creates an extremely strong defensive pairing. Guards are unique in the sense that they cannot gain cover, which is the prime feature of the Shadow Lane. This makes it so they can never hide, which is fair because their job is to block you in the first place. They are also highlighted in this cool golden border so you can easily identify them. Many keywords are optional in deck building, but I would highly suggest at least including one set of guards in any deck you create. Guard is followed swiftly by Lethal, which is a keyword that causes a lot of frustration with some people. Lethal makes whichever creature possesses it, regardless of attack power, able to insta-kill any other creature that it damages, either on its turn or your opponent's turn. Creatures that have 0 attack power and are lethal will not insta-kill other creatures that attack it, but you can still do lethal damage with them through items such as the Quicksilver Crossbow. Adding much anticipated hype to the aforementioned ward keyword, creatures with ward will not be affected by lethal attacks. Like Guard, lethal cards have an effect which allows you to easily identify them. Their attack stat is highlighted in a green glow, making it look like poison. Lethal creatures synergize supremely effectively in Slay decks, which provide rewards for killing creatures, and it also works very efficiently with cards like Unstoppable Rage and battle-based cards. Lethal cards are predominantly located in agility and endurance decks, so scout decks are able to make the most use out of them. And powerful lethal creatures include Astrid, Naruvirian, and Cicero. Okay, so I was actually unsure about this being a keyword, but I looked into it a bit and apparently it is. This keyword is exclusive to items though. It's called Mobilize. Normally an item card requires a creature on the board for it to be equipped to. Mobilize works around this in a very specific manner. So if you have an item with Mobilize and you have no friendly creatures in a lane, the item may be played to the lane, where it will generate a 1/1 recruit for the item to be equipped on. Mobilize is in fact a keyword because it can be generated on items via the Arcane Enchanter, but as previously stated, it is exclusive to items. Mobilize is a keyword that can give you a bit of a boost in the efficiency or consistency of your item decks. However, it's probably the weakest keyword on the list thus far. The requirement for playing a card with Mobilize is a little convoluted, but you can certainly have instances where the keyword is appreciated. This works best in Daggerfall and Battle Mage based decks, and the legendary card Emmerich's Warlord actually applies this keyword to every item in your deck, provided she's in play. In my personal opinion, many of the Mobilize items are actually good, like the Poison Dagger, the Ebon Thread Cloak, and the Covenant Plate, but there just aren't that many Mobilize items in the first place, as this mechanic was never really explored too much after its introduction from the Alliance War update. So after our detour into Mobilize, we'll reroute back to the more general keywords with Rally. Rally was introduced in the Houses of Morrowind expansion, and it's a pretty awesome keyword. Rally makes it so that every time a creature equipped with it makes an attack, regardless of the card's survival, it will give a random card in your hand +1 to attack and +1 to defense. Some cards, like the Balmora Captain, actually have Rally 2, which means that it will provide a +2/+2 bonus rather than the +1/+1. It's important to know that Rally does not work should a card be provoked into attack by the battle effect or when the card is defending against an attack, and cards with 0 attack power will obviously not be able to make use of Rally. This keyword is really good at providing a boost for other cards in your deck though, making it very popular in hand buff related strategies, and it's found most in Redoran decks, made up of strength, endurance, and willpower attributes. I would say the best rally creature in-game is probably the Aldvalat the Assassin. You can fight me on that one if you want, but honestly, any creature with this is going to be really nice to attack with. After Rally, we'll swing by to maybe the worst keyword from the base game, Regenerate. Nothing against Regenerate cards, but they're just not as powerful as other effects on the list. Regenerate allows cards with it to, at the start of your turn, fully heal any of their lost health. This effect on paper is really cool, and I'm not denying its utility on some cards. However, there are many cards in game that can just simply insta-kill creatures, lethal cards. And a lot of the time, regenerate creatures will be taken out fairly quickly anyway, as most people know not to attack regenerate creatures on their turn unless they can kill them. Also, nearly every card with regenerate is located in endurance, making it a keyword that generally doesn't see as much play as the other ones. There aren't a whole lot of specific synergies with regenerate either, although creatures with larger health pools tend to perform better with it. Conversely, if you roll regenerate on a creature with only 1 health with, say, the skill stone, then it literally provides 0 value to the card. Of course, it's always nice to have a keyword for free, but with this keyword, it can actually be completely useless if it's on the wrong card. Noteworthy regenerate cards are the Hackwing Feather, the Iron Atronach, and the Frost Troll. Okay, so finally we get to Ward, and Ward is the definition of last but not least. This keyword grants a creature a ward which appears in-game in the form of a blue glowing shield-like thing. While a creature is equipped with a ward, it is invulnerable to any damage. If a creature with 999 attack power were to hit a warded creature, the creature with a ward would survive. Not only can it eat any damaging effects, but it also does not provide health for drain creatures that hit it, and lethal creatures cannot insta-kill warded creatures. The major caveat to this is that once a warded creature is attacked or has been damaged at all, they will lose the ward forever. Much like Charge though, if you unsummon a ward creature and then replay it, the ward will return. Ward synergizes with just about every card in the game, as being able to negate all damage is a universally good thing for any card to have. Ward cannot prevent being destroyed by cards like Piercing Javelin or Fell the Mighty, however, so don't go around thinking that being immune to damage means being invincible. Ward is especially good when paired with guards, as you create an extremely defensive bulwark of annoying creatures with their powers combined. Ward is actually also the only keyword that can be applied to you as the character. You can get a ward for your face through a specific card or two, and this will block any damage that comes into your actual character, which is really nice to have. Most ward creatures are located in intelligence and endurance, but they can be found in other colors, and due to cards like the Ward Crafter, the Sentinel Battle Mace, and the Lion Guard Strategist, it's actually very easy to give literally any creature a ward. Before we end the video, I wanted to mention that there are many ways to generate keywords onto cards. There are straight up RNG machines like the Skill Stone, the Arcane Enchanter, and the Royal Sage that will grant keywords at random, but there are also cards that will specifically give you keywords that you want. Many items, for instance, have keywords attached to them, so when you equip them to a creature, the keywords will be granted. Also, like I just said, ward crafters create wards, obviously, and stuff like Feldu or Skooma Racketeers grant lethal. Be sure to play around with these cards, as there are many creatures that will excel when granted specific keywords. But yeah, that'll do it for all 9 keywords explained. I hope you learned something about at least one of the keywords while watching this video. If I missed anything, let me know. Please tell me your favorite cards from each keyword. I think I'll create a list of mine in the comments below somewhere, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts. Feel free to send this video to anyone who may be new to the game, and I don't know, if you don't have anyone to send it to, send it to your dad. See what he has to say about my video. And I guess if you don't have a dad to send it to, you could send it to your neighbor's dad. I'm sure your neighbor's dad would like this video. Anyway, if you made it this far, thanks, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.